3, 4. Years ago, they came to a store in Oakland, in Richmond, called Whitefront Store. And at the time, the store was opening. They brought in the Jackson 5, and I was working there as a clerk. And I did a lot of utility work and everything around. And they came in, and I remember walking through the hallway, and I saw Tito Jackson through the door. And the management of the store says, hey, the Jackson 5 are here, but they don't have any security. So we need you and other workers to work as security. I said, okay. So what we did, here they come, and we don't have the Maybe Tomorrow album, do we have that album? But they were dressed just like on the Maybe Tomorrow album. And
ta-da!
Yeah, there you go. They were dressed just like this. This is how they were dressed and coming to Richmond. So what had happened, we walked into the autograph area. Girls were screaming and all. After they did the autographs, they ran, and I just started working there. So I opened up a door, and they went into this room. But I thought it was leading to the warehouse, which it wasn't. So we had to get them back out of that room that I brought them in there, into the screaming girls. We got them into the warehouse, and eventually they had a decoy where they sent the limousine in one direction, and all the Jackson 5 jumped into another car. One of the screaming girls was my future wife, Linda. and she
following the limo,
following
the decoy.
So what had happened about, I guess Linda and I had got together about, that was in 71, 80. So it was about maybe 9 years later, Linda and I connected, and we made reference to of us being together but not being together. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't know her, but she said she was there at the store. But it was a book out on Motown called The Golden Years of Motown, and they needed some images, so I supplied a couple of pictures. And this is about 30 years later, back in the late 80s, early 90s. And the book had some riveting pictures of Motown artists, and I had two pictures in there. I had the picture of Berry Gordy that I submitted for my collection, and a Jackson 5 picture. But there was these other pictures of this guy by the name of Weldon McDougall. So I called the publisher and I said, hey, I just got the Motown book, and thank you for using my picture, but who is this guy, Weldon McDougall? He said, well, Weldon would love to talk to you because he's just really involved in music, this and that. So he was in Philadelphia. So I called and I told him about how I really enjoyed the book and all these pictures. So Weldon says, brother, where are you calling from? I said, I'm calling from the San Francisco Bay Area. Now this is in the 90s. He said, you know, about close to 30 years ago, I took an unknown group called the Jackson 5 to a store. I don't know the name of the store, but I remember it was by a racetrack. And I said, well, that's Golden Gate Fields. He said, right. Well, what had happened, this guy took us into this closet. And we had to fight our way, because in the closet, it was Marlon, Michael, he, and myself. So we had to, but the girls are beating on the door and everything, so we had to go back through those screaming girls to go to the warehouse. But the thing about Weldon, he was before he got together with Motown, he was a producer, and he produced one of my greatest love songs, Barbara Mason's Yes, I'm Ready. And that was Weldon McDougall. And I've connected Weldon with my good friend right here, Roy and Carmen. And over the years, this has been just a good journey of our fanship. And basically what I wanted to do was to naturally, we know of the phenomenon of Michael Jackson, but this is the beginning. And showing my collection and hoping that you enjoy it. And this is something that, thanks to this gentleman right here, this is the excitement that the radio advertisement would.
Those five bad brothers, the Jackson 5, will be appearing in concert at the Cow Palace August 24th. Yes, the Jackson 5 will be righteously socking some soul to you August 24th at the Cow Palace. Come on down and let them do all the favorite songs for you. The Jackson 5. Don't miss it. Come on and hear them do all the favorite songs and let them satisfy your very soul. The Jackson 5, August 24th at the Cow Palace. Tickets available at all Macy's, Ticketron outlets, and downtown Plymouth Rock's office.
The old KDIA.
Lucky 13.
Linda went to every time the Jackson 5 were here. Linda has attended.
Yeah, that's the show I saw.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, so what was it like when you went to all those shows?
I was kind of on the side of the stage, and I don't know how to express it. It was just, I was a fan, and I went, made sure I was there as close as I can get.
Wow. And Carmen Stone right here, this is Carmen Stone, and she was an avid Jackson 5 fan. And go ahead, tell us what your experiences.
Well, I wasn't as lucky as Linda, so I didn't get to go to all of the concerts, but I remember one of them, and it might have been the Going Back to Indiana tour at the Coliseum. And my neighbors across the street were going to get to go, but I wasn't going to get to go. My parents really couldn't afford to take the whole family, and my brother wasn't really into them. And I mean, I cried for weeks until they somehow asked the neighbors if they would take me along to this concert. Because I was just, like Linda and like so many others, just crazed about the Jackson 5. I had all of their albums. My room was just covered in pictures and album covers, and I had the big afro. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't LaToya. And then my best friend was Eric, who looked just like Michael Jackson. At the time, everybody thought he was Michael for sure, So that was just really, it was so much fun. Like George said, they were our Beatles. They were something that they were electric. They tore the stage down. We understand that their dad worked them really, really hard, but it really did pay off when they hit the stage because they were synchronized.
Oh, yes.
Now, I have two really interesting experiences. The second time I saw them at the Cow Palace, I'm on the side of the stage, and Marlon was facing me, and I smiled at him and waved, and he had his mic, and his greeting back to me was he tightened up his fist around the mic's cord, and it was directed to me. I mean, and then when I saw him at the Circle Star, I took my nephew and Harvey, and I don't remember how old he was, but this is during the time when Janet came out and did her little Mae West invitation, right? So I went around to the back, of the Circle Star, and Rebe was in a van, and I lifted, and Janet, and I lifted my nephew up, and Rebe looked and said, "Oh, Janet, look at him," because they're pretty much the same age. So that was pretty cool.
You know, one thing she brought up, which was real key, is you brought up Pop's working him real hard.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it wasn't for him. He gets a bad rap, I feel, but if it wasn't for him, it doesn't happen. And